Hey, good morning. Good afternoon. I hope you all are enjoying this glorious Monday, a beginning to the new week, hopefully starting on the right foot in the good path. It's a time of tremendous celebration all around. People are finally getting out and they're having parties. The caterer told me that the calls have been through the roof since the laws changed. It's also graduation season. Today I was taking my children to school and I passed by BC. It was so beautiful to see all the graduates in their gowns and being able to celebrate in person, although maybe a little social distance, but still it was a time of celebration. And the truth is that a graduation is a special time. It's a time when we finish our studies, but we really begin studying and begin life. And I wanted to connect it a little bit to something that we've all been dealing with as our kids graduate high school and graduate college and go into the real world. And the last week has been a rude awakening to all of us as Jews to sometimes how the real world could be and how anti-Semitism could rear its ugly head on all sides and in all places, even in the comforts of America. And how do we deal with giving our children the tools and the proper understanding of what it means to be a Jew, of what it means to be proud for Israel, of what we sometimes have to sacrifice to be who we are, to be the moral beacon of light that God wanted us to be. And this week's Torah portion actually begins with Aaron, the high priest, who was, as we say, Ohev Shalom V'Rodef Shalom. His whole pursuit was for peace and for love and for kindness and for bringing people together. And the name of the portion is called Bahalotcha, which is when Aaron would kindle the menorah every day in the Holy Temple. But the word he uses, if you ever light your menorah on Hanukkah or on before Shabbat, you light Shabbat candles, you know that we use the word Lahadlik. Ner Shel Shabbos Kodesh, Lahadlik Ner Shel Chanukah, to light the light of Chanukah or Shabbat. But when it comes to this week's Torah portion, the Torah uses the word Bahalotcha, when you elevate or when you kindle. And Rashi, of course, right away comments on it and tells us that what the Torah is telling us is that in order to nurture and raise children that will be the people we want them to be, it's not enough to light them, but we have to kindle them. It's not enough to give them a crutch that when they're right around you and they have the light near them, they will be who they are. But you have to give them the tools and the weapons to be able to be the people, the best people they could. As we say, when it comes to lighting something, it's not about filling a bucket, but it's about inspiring it to continue to grow and about illuminating beyond what they are. Now, when you think about Israel and you think about what's going on, how are we inspiring our children to love Israel? And I think that we have to think hard and make a difference in how we inspire our children to love Israel. It's not enough to tell our children, love Israel because that's where most Jews live. Love Israel because we're Zionists. We have to connect our children's love to Israel with God, with Judaism, with tradition, with heritage. We have to explain them that when you look at the Bible that's believed and followed by billions of people throughout the world, God promises this land to the Jewish people. We have to remind them that there was a temple over 2,000 years ago, before any of the Muslims or Christians came to the Holy Land, that was where all the Jews worshipped and lived, and that God gave us this land. We have to remind them, of course, and give them the tools to know that we've always had our hand outstretched, just like Aaron, to bring peace, to bring love to the world. And when we do that, we give our children the tools that when someone comes and questions them, they know what they're answering. Because I'll be honest, most of the people that challenge and fight Israel are extremely shallow. Their arguments are shallow. Their knowledge is shallow. They know nothing about the history of Israel, the history in the short term and the history in the long term. But if we want our kids to be passionate and to be able to go out to college and to the world and to defend Israel and to be proud of Israel, we have to articulate to them those things that are important, those values that we hold dear, those truths that we know so much and so importantly. So I beg you, Don't wait till your kids are about to leave to college. Don't wait till your kids are about to leave to a public high school or to the world out there and then say, oh my gosh, I didn't give them the tools and now they're asking me. Nurture it. Take them to Israel. Teach them about Israel. Take them to temple. Take them to shul. Make sure they study Torah. Make sure they're engaged in Jewish life. May Hashem bless us that we should be able to kindle the flames, inspire our children to be the leaders they could be, and to change the world the way they know how to and the way they could. God bless you and have a good day.